HTTP get public view result and student return view, and also HTTP post public view result. Um, I'm using the same name. But guys, if you use the same name, compulsory parameters should vary. Yes or not? Compulsory or parameters should vary. Otherwise, it's an error. If this is the scenario, if your parameters are not varying, then compulsory names would change. That's just only two examples. Previous example, same names are used. Parameters vary. In the previous, in the yesterday's example, parameters are not mismatching. Parameters are same. So that's why I change the names. One is login, one is validate. But now both the names are add student. And here what you do? Student. Pass your student. Student. Oh. Using MVC UI designing dot models. Yeah. So what you're doing here is return view. Okay, return view. What to write in the add student post we'll see. First, let us design a view for add student. Let's design a view for add student.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, we'll design a view for the add student now. Right click, add view, add student. At the rate HTML dot at the rate using HTML dot begin form. Do I need to specify any values? Means any of these things, controller name, action method name, method, post or get. Do I need to give them? No. Reason, by default, it will go back to add student only. So no need to specify it. And second thing, the default method is post. The default method is post. Because the default method is post, you don't require to specify anything at all there. Is that clear? You don't require to specify anything at all here. Simply add using HTML.begin form, and you can just start writing the code for creating a form now. What do you want to create? A label first. And I want to create a label first. Already last class I explained you how to create a label. Add HTML.label student ID. Below this, a text box for entering a student ID. Observe. At the rate HTML.textbox ID. Next, again, label for name and the text box. Name and text box. Okay. Next, a label for class. A label for class. Now, guys, listen. For class, I want a drop-down list. What I want? Drop-down list. I just expecting a drop-down list here. So how do you create a drop-down list? At the rate HTML dot drop-down list. If you're using this drop-down list, when you're using this drop-down list, guys, remember here, actually, it has different attributes. One, name. What is the name? Class only, na? Class only, na? Text about name, ID, same. Now also, class, comma. Second one, option label. What is the option label? The option label is to tell select. Array, it's a drop down list here. In the drop down list, has to show me some label now. Select class. Are you getting me? Next. See this, listen. This is different. What it takes? Name. Second one, IEnumerable means, so wherever you see IEnumerable, read it as list. Wherever you see IEnumerable, read it as list. IEnumerable is a parent of your list. Just like all classes are inherited from object. So every class is an object now. So all collections inherit from IEnumerable. So read it as a list of select list items, object HTML attributes. Now option label is not there. Array, different overloads, guys. Let's see the next overload. What is the next overload? Again, name, IEnumerable, optional label. Means I want to use this method, guys. In the first one, name. Second one, I need to pass a list here. Third one, optional label is here. So leave it. And in the second case, I want to use what? A list. What list, sir? Array. A drop down list should contain values. Na? You have a drop down list empty. Drop down list should come with values now. What values you want? I want class to select from 1 to 10 now. I want the class to be selected from 1 to 10. And you can add that in the form of a list. Are you getting me or not? You can add this in the form of a list. A list of which type? Watch here. Select list item type. What it takes, what you want to add is secondary. What it takes is important. What it takes, select list item. So how should I create this list of select list item? Means a list of int. Okay. Li is equals to new. I want to create a list now. List of int li is equals to new list of int. I'm just going to create a list like this. Oh, sorry. List of int. So let's create a list like this now. Okay. Now, in this, what do you want? You want a set of classes now. Array, can I use the curly braces and can I assign the values? First, I created a list now. First, I created a list. What it contains? A set of integer values. A set of integer values. Now, in the second step, what I require to create is I require to create a select list item. What is it? Select list item. Not, not select list items. Select list items are list items. Select list only. I'm sorry. There's a class called select list items is equals to new select list and see the constructor. What the constructor is taking? Again, a list. What is taking? A list of items. Here I can pass a line. So what happens is, listen, first you are creating a list of integer. And now the list of integer is converting into list of select list items. List of this class, what class? Select list will automatically create you a list of select list items for you. If I create the instance of this class, what will it do? It will create you a list of select list items. Now pass items here. Once again, I'm telling you, you have a doubt here. What is the doubt? Sir, can't I pass li here? No, you cannot pass li here. It doesn't take a list of integers there. What it takes? List of select list items is what it takes. Did you understand me or not? Say, a method takes an integer. You cannot pass a string for that now. Yes or not? Same way, this method takes what? List of select list items. List of select list item. How to create it? You are going to create it by using a class called select list. This class will internally create a list of select list items. And for that, you are adding the values in the list of integer. So first, this list should be added to select list. And now this select list should be provided here. Now what happens? The drop down will contain all the 10 values. And the default selection will be select class. If I don't use this, what happens? One will be selected by default. Array, how can you select one by default? So I'm just going to give a caption to the user. What is it? Select class. So run and see how it looks. See that. You got a drop down there. You got the values. And the default value, select class. If I don't set that, by default, it will be selecting of 1. So without that, I'm just giving an optional label called as select class, and here you have the list. Is that clear? So what we created now? A drop down. Yesterday we created only text boxes here. That's why it's only today a drop down. What next? Just a minute. Gender. Gender should be a radio button. Gender should be a radio button. It should be a radio button. Okay. Guys, do you remember this? When you're learning your HTML classes, your teacher have taught you this point. What is it? When I'm using radio buttons, in HTML, each radio button is independent of itself. But under gender, I want to use 2 radio buttons and one should be selected from that. How many? 1. If you want one should be selected, your teacher might have taught you all these controls should have the same name. All the controls should have the same name. You have 10 radio buttons. All these 10 should come under one category. Then should have the same name. In C#, we add them by on a separate container. When you learn C# Windows Forms, how do we do that? We use separate containers for that. But when you come to HTML, what do you require to do? You require to do the same name. 3 radio buttons in one category, 3 radio buttons under one category. The first 3 radio buttons should have one name. The next 3 radio buttons should have one name. So these 3 becomes one group, and these 3 becomes another group. Are you clear? Okay, that is how you should just do it. So if you guys are just wanted to create a, just a minute. Okay. Watch. I just wanted to create a radio buttons. Guys, observe how to create. Label sender. Next, radio button sender. Name is same for both now. The name is same for both now. And what is this? This is the value that we submitted to the server, not the value to display. Understand me? You select this radio button. What it submits to server? Male. If you select this radio button, what it submits to server? Female. What is this? This is the display text. This is the display text. And remember, inside a C# block, if at all you want to write a static text, you're required to either use a text tag or @colon. Yes or not? Say, if I don't use this, let me remove this, guys. If I don't use this, you will see radio buttons, but you won't see any text for them now. In HTML also, if you want to give a text, how do you give? Beside the radio button, you say type it now. Directly you cannot give. See, the 2 radio buttons are there. You go to view page source. Here, it will show you the 2 radio buttons here. What is showing you? Input ID is equals to gender, name is equals to, type is equals to radio, value is equals to, but value won't be shown on the screen. In HTML also, go and check yourself. After the input type radio, in the last you should type the text what you want to see. Yes or not? Here also it is the same process. I need to type the text what I want to see. How to type? Here I want to see male. But under C#, you cannot write static text. If you want to write static text, what to do? Text tag is one option, or a waste of time. Simple option, @colon. @colon male, @colon female. Save. Got it. Clear? You got the radio buttons created. Now you created the radio buttons here. Okay, fine. What next page? Please. These 2 are normal text boxes only now. This is a text box. Address is a text area. Address is a text area. Okay, let's create one text box and one text area. Okay, look, guys. Creating a text box for fees. Okay, then create a text area for address. I'm getting a text area for address. Okay, what are the attributes I'm using for a text area? First attribute, name. Second attribute, any default value you want. In the text box, you want to say any default value? No, empty string. Number of rows, number of columns. Number of rows and number of columns. Unfortunately, there is a overload which takes 5 parameters here. There is an overload which takes 5 parameters. The first one is HTML attributes. But I don't want to pass any HTML attributes now. That's why left empty. So can't we leave it? Or if the method takes 5 parameters, we pass 5 values now. That is why even though I don't want, I put it as a new off and left it empty string there. Okay. Now this is going to create you a text area there. Okay now. And in the bottom, let me add it to buttons. And button adding code, I already said you in the last class, it's the same old code. So guys, you can observe all the things from the top again. Just a minute. Yeah. First, label and text box for ID. Next, label and text box for name. Next, label and a drop down. For drop down, we are writing all this code. If to simplify this, guys, to simplify this, you're passing a li now. In the place of li, directly write off. We can delete this. Select list items is equals to new select list of new list of int and pass all the values to it. Okay, and directly pass it. Now this is creating a drop down. Next, radio buttons. Radio buttons. Next, text box. Next, text area. So what are the parameters it takes? Name, default value, number of rows, number of columns, and HTML attributes. But I don't want any HTML attributes. Unfortunately, I don't have a method which takes 4 parameters. There is a method which takes 5. That is why I just left it empty. Then I have 2 buttons. Save it and refresh. Yes, that's right. You want to use try Bootstrap? You can try Bootstrap. Last day I said you how to use Bootstrap. You can try the Bootstrap. And now when you click on the save button, where it goes, add student again. Where it goes here, add student. So guys, let us come to here. Now tell me, when I click on the submit, all the values comes into the student or not? Enter the values, guys. 101. Some name. Okay, class 5. Gender male. Fees some 60,000. Address Hyderabad. Something. Click on the save. That's what I said to you. A more number of attributes. This is the correct way to read it now. When a more number of attributes, this is the correct way to read it. Our text box name is SID. Second text box name is name. Third text box name is, third one, drop down list. Drop down list name is class. Our radio button names are gender. Both are gender only. But what we selected, that only will come now. What came? Male. If female is selected, female will come. And our address text box is address, and face text box name is face. If you change the names, these values will not come here now. Are you getting me? Okay, just observe it. Observe. I wanted to change the names now. Let's go to the studio. Here, I'm giving a different name. Name mismatching. Name is mismatching. Click on address did not load. Address did not load now. That's what I said. You check these names correctly. Values not coming. What you require to verify whether I use the names correctly or not. That's what you require to verify. Understood my point? Okay, and see the beauty of MVC name mapping system. The MVC name mapping system will automatically map the values with the corresponding corresponding controls based on the names of the controls. If you correct the names, automatically these values will come and fall under your properties now. Your properties now. Understood, everyone? Yes or not? Okay, let me fix it. Address. Yeah. All the values came to where? Now, actually, guys, I want to create a new view called as display student. And for the display student, I want to pass the model object. Are you clear? I want to write a method called as display student, and I want to pass the model object for the display student now. So let's create a view. Right click, add view. What is the name? Display student. And now this model object is passed here now. Show me the values here. At the rate model MVC UI designing dot models dot. What is your model? Student is your model. Now come here and just write the code for displaying the data. Okay, how you want to display the data? No, they are not case sensitive. Only spellings are important. Not case sensitive, guys. I think I said you already about this. Spellings are only important, not the case. Even the cases of mismatching also get rid of the values. Okay, now? Well, I think I used a list to display these values. Yes. Yeah. Student details. I used a unordered list. However you want, you show them here. ID, name, class, gender, school, and fees. Model dot I said model dot name, model dot class. Already explained to the school. For yesterday, shown you table format. Now I shown you list format. It's a list format. That's your choice how you want to show it. So again, you can run add student